downloads. They're information that you get while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. They just kind of come to you. They could be visions. They could be certain scents, even though you're not around it. They could be ideas. Sometimes people have internal monologue. Whatever you call it. This was definitely it. And originally it started off with the whole idea of people being envious or jealous of each other and stuff like that. And I was really doing some internal deep diving, and it occurred to me that I've been in cycles before where it came to the opportunity of me maybe taking over for somebody or stepping up into somebody's place, and I almost entertained the idea at the time. These were other previous times in my life where I was put in the cycle, and it's almost like I started manifesting me being in that position or taking over somebody's spot. And this could just be at like old jobs or something like that, but I never thought of it as being a threat to anybody. It's just entertaining the idea. It's not like I actually wanted to take anybody's spot, and I sure as fuck don't. I don't want to replace anybody. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to replace anybody. I'm just me. I'm just doing what it is that I do and do it to the best of my ability. That's all I've ever really done. And for this download specifically, it's the idea of people that either pick up energetically or are empaths or even just have the insecurity there. So these would be triggers of the feeling of being replaced by somebody, or that somebody's going to take your spot, or that you're not going to be acknowledged for something, or that you're not going to be appreciated or needed anymore for something. And throughout my entire life, I've been put in tests, and I was going through all the different ones. I didn't get through all of them, but vast majority, I was like, this is another test. Instead of me manifesting what it would be like to be in the spot, just appreciate if I'm given the opportunity, and not actually picture myself replacing anybody, because that's never what I wanted. And in this circumstance, I'm being given the opportunity to step up and do something different, but I'm not here to replace another person. Yes, I'll take the opportunity. Yes, if I'm being selected to do something specifically, I'll do it, and I'll do it to the best of my ability, but I'm not here to replace anybody, because everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a specific thing that they're good at, or everybody has reason for being, and I'm not here to take that away from anybody. And a lot of the time I do understand, even in my own family dynamics, maybe friends, anytime envy or jealousy kind of peaked up, when really it was just kind of put yourself in their shoes sort of experience. Like, if it was me, how would I feel if personally it doesn't affect me because I'm so hyper independent, and the thought of somebody else not needing my help is like, whew, great, right? Like, that's a weight off my shoulders. I'm very happy that they're able to do it on their own. And that can be like extreme from one side to the other. It could be like somebody purposefully training somebody to do something so that they don't have to worry about it, just as if you were to train somebody in a job or whatever. But in a family dynamic, when it comes to children and stuff like that, you want your children to be able to come to you and if they need help. And then there's the other spectrum side of it too, where they're overly dependent, right? There needs to be a balance there where they're able to figure things out on their own and be independent, but at the same time, if they really truly needed it, they should be able to ask for help. Now, me, I'm on the spectrum of hyper independence. So even the thought of somebody not needing my help or me being a part of something, I'm okay with. I don't, at this point, I've come to a healing point where I don't feel the need to be validated or appreciated by anybody. Yeah, it's nice, but I don't need it anymore. And I can truly understand that there's certain people in my life that maybe felt even just me existing here, just my existence, threaten them in some way, of feeling like they're going to be replaced, or feeling like they're not going to be needed, or feeling like whatever, you name it. I think you catch my drift here. And when it comes down to, hold on, I've got so much I want to say. When it comes to people feeling like they're going to be replaced, or seeing that somebody's getting more attention or affection than another person, I can understand how other people will be affected by this, and how it can really change their behavior and their mood and their thinking towards another person, even if it's not called for. I get that. It's not an excuse for people's behavior if they start feeling a certain way and then they start lashing out or attacking another person because they feel threatened. But it's definitely a better understanding of that, and putting myself in another person's shoes to kind of feel like how they would feel and get an understanding, or at least try to break it down and try to analyze the whole thing, is really important to me too, because this is what I do. I like to learn the lessons. And then this can be applied to so many things too. Let's say in a family dynamic, a child comes along and the grandparents are behaving in a much calmer, nicer manner towards the child than they did for their own children, parents of the child. And I can understand where that envy or jealousy can come in, because they feel like they're being replaced. They feel like they're not good enough, or something along the lines of that. But it's not an excuse for lashing out or hurting another person. And even going so far as biblical, or just energetically, how that whole idea came into play. The feeling of somebody doing something different, or being a certain way, or taking leadership in some sort of way, and then that sort of idea, even I'm not religious myself, but I do appreciate all religions, and that whole idea of let's say God and the devil or something like that, and one being cast out because they weren't like, there is no reason to do something like that if you are fully comfortable in yourself. And I'm not hating on God by no means, because we all have those energies within us, and we have to appreciate both sides for what they offer, and they both teach us a lesson. And right now I'm learning that I understand why certain people act a certain way towards others, even if it's not what do you call that, like it wasn't engaged, like it wasn't called for. I could see where it would come from. And I'm trying to calm myself in my thinking, because there's so many things I wanted to say. For a person to feel outcasted, they would be lacking in the department of self-love. I personally have gotten to the point, and I've been through so many tests myself and cycles, and I've decided to learn the lessons so that I don't feel this way. I have decided to love myself so much so that I've become everything to me. I mean so much to me, and other people mean a lot to me too. But when it comes down to it, I'm not going to allow people to treat me a certain way because I care about myself. If it comes to being outcasted, if it comes to being replaced even, or if it comes to anything like that. I remember back in the day when I was a teenager, I think I was 22, and I ended, I was done with a relationship, and my phobia was that all the work that I had put in with this person the rewards would be reaped with somebody else. Like somebody else would get them, and they would have learned so much from my experience with this person that they get to enjoy a whole new person that is elevated to a different level. And that was my phobia. It was weird, but now I see it completely differently. But I do have an understanding of why people would feel like they're being replaced by somebody, or somebody's getting more attention than another person, and that whole abandonment energy comes in, and the need to want to feel validated, or even just feel needed, or anything like that. Like, it comes from within self. You really truly have to love and care about yourself to not be afflicted with that when it comes to dealing with other people. No parent should ever be jealous of their child, and nobody really needs that sort of jealousy in their life. But when it comes down to it, this is the reality. There's a lot of people that have allowed that to kind of overtake them or overcome them, and they kind of let it take the wheel and steer, and it's not okay because it's ever consuming almost. It's like they haven't sat down to learn the lesson that they need themselves more, that they don't need the validation from other people. They don't need that sort of thing from other people at all. It's really important that people understand this. You are important. You are valuable. You are worthy. You have a purpose. And anything it is that you are really good at, please keep going with that. If somebody steps up and tries to take your place, there is no taking your place. If you're meant for something, then you appreciate how good you are at it. You validate yourself. There should be no worries. There should be no fears with that at all. If you're confident with yourself, even when it comes to relationships, I'm not worried about my partner cheating. I'm not worried about my partner leaving me or anything like that. And if that were to be the case, if that ever happened, then I'm comfortable enough with myself to go my own way because I got more than enough information that I needed. I go elsewhere, or I start something new for myself. It's clearly making way for new for me. There's no reason to be crushed by it anymore. When I walk away from certain people that are doing me wrong or people that do not appreciate me, it's like cut and dry. It's like I don't need to explain myself anymore. I have given more than enough of myself, and now it's time to make sure that I love me. And I care about people very deeply, but if they choose not to learn the lessons, I do not have to carry their burdens. I've done quite a bit of shadow work to realize that I do not have to keep taking on people's burdens just because they won't love themselves. I don't have to do that anymore. I never had to do that. And I think I was elected without even knowing there was an election going on at one point, especially when it comes to my family dynamic and that. I loved unconditionally without question. I love the people around me. I care deeply about every single person I meet, even strangers. And I gave of myself fully. In fact, I think I was even besides being groomed for that and giving all of myself, like I think I was happy to give of myself. But then I had to realize there comes a time and point where you need to be able to love yourself enough to put boundaries down, to be healthy with yourself, to do something when something is wrong in your life or something's going wrong. Take the necessary steps. Stand up for yourself. Build a case for yourself. There's no need for any drama or fighting or anything like that. You have to be able to speak your truth. And there's many people out there that will listen to that. If your truth is not out of self-love, if it's not truly out of self-love and it's just out of hate, envy, jealousy, spite, rage, and all those things that are there to teach you a lesson, then that is not self-love. It's not. And I really do care about the people I left behind, but I had to start doing things for myself. And I don't mean just being hyper independent. No, I just mean I had to start loving myself. If I couldn't be given that from certain people because they could not have the capacity to do that for themselves, even though I believe they do. I believe they do. And even in a karmic state, I see potential in most people that I meet, even if they treat me like shit or something like that, or they do me wrong. I still see their good potential in them because I love myself so much. It's a reflection. I still see the good in people. And then when they do me wrong, instead of being mad at them for it, because I'm not mad at myself, I understand I probably went through this or I went through that, or maybe I didn't go through that and I wouldn't do that, but I understand. So I'm not going to be mad or hate on them for it. It's just like I'm peacing out. I will speak my truth. I will say what I've learned up to this very point because that's what I'm supposed to do. Nobody told me to do that. That's my inner guidance. My ancestors, spirit guides, divine universe, whatever you want to call it. If you're a religious God, your higher self, your inner child, whatever it is. But you should validate yourself. You should know you're good enough because you are. You shouldn't need that externally from you. You shouldn't need anybody to tell you that. If you're not good enough at something, then that's only you believing you're not good at something. If you want to practice, it helps. If you really want to learn something, you'll learn it. You're smart. You're capable. If you really want to learn how to do something, you'll learn it. If you get mad at other people for working hard that learned how to do something, then that's not loving yourself. That's being very angry with you and then projecting that outwards onto another person to carry, which is not for them because they've already mastered themselves. They decided to love themselves. They did what was right for them. They did right by them. And you getting mad at another person is it's not self-love. Now, if somebody does you wrong, you have the right to voice your opinion and say something. And by that, I mean if somebody clearly went out of their way to hurt you in some way. If you just feel hurt because they're elevating or they're doing well for themselves, or you feel they've abandoned you in some way because you were getting something from them and you were codependent, that's not self-love. And it really hit me today. It really did. When it comes to anything, whether it be biblical or just your own family life or just your relationships with people, when it comes to that idea of somebody or even workplace or anything, I realized I was put in cycles again and again, regardless of how much I love myself and I know I'm capable and good and worthy and valuable. I never thought of how much of a threat I was to other people, because it wasn't my intention. But at times I did think about or manifest what it would be like to be in certain people's place, but not to take their place. Be like, oh, what would it be like to do this? Or what would it be like to do that? I didn't think it was that powerful that people would be angry about it or be spiteful. And I've worked very hard to this very point of where I am in my life and my own healing journey. I keep learning lessons. I keep growing as an individual, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not out to hurt anybody, but I can understand why there's certain people that were angry at me for walking away, or angry at me for being who I was, or just shining my own light, because they considered it to be a threat. But I wouldn't be a threat to anybody that is fully loving themselves, because there's no competition. There's no random competition I didn't sign up for. There's no competition between people. When it comes to an actual event, let's sports or something like that, sure. But when it comes to a competition with another human being for elevating and being your best version of yourself, you can't compete other than with yourself. That's the only thing that you have to worry about. That's it. That's all I really have to say. Remember to love you. Please do.